It's been a difficult summer for the Indian rupee. It has been falling, hitting new lows every day. Today was another record. The Indian rupee dropped below 80 against the dollar, meaning $1 cost more than 80 rupees. By the end of the trading day, there was a marginal recovery. The rupee settled at 79.93 against the dollar. It has become a bit of a pattern. In the last 7 trading sessions, the rupee has breached its record low 7 times. The days ahead will be tough. India's central bank has been forced to intervene. It is trying to arrest the rupee's fall. But it's not going to be easy. Tonight we'll tell you about India's fight to rescue the rupee. First, the basics. What is causing the rupee to fall? 2 reasons. First is that imports have become more expensive. Prices of key commodities like oil have shot up. Now, India pays for these imports in dollars. And since the dollar is more expensive, imports are more expensive. This has widened India's current account deficit. What is current account deficit? It is the difference between imports and exports. India's current account deficit is expected to touch $105 billion this year, meaning imports are bigger than exports by $105 billion, and this is a high number. It is weakening the rupee. Reason number 2 is investments, or the loss of investments more like. India has been losing foreign investors. This year, they've pulled nearly $30 billion from the equity markets, and this has further weakened the rupee. There are some other reasons too, like the war in Ukraine, the global supply shortages, rising inflation. All of them have accelerated the rupee's fall. In fact, the last few years have been tough for the rupee. It has steadily lost value. India's finance ministry made a revelation in the parliament. Since 2014, the Indian currency has fallen by over 16 rupees against the dollar. That's a decline of more than 25%. In 2014, $1 was equal to 63.33 rupees. Today, it is almost 80. So the rupee has been depreciating for a while, and recent events have just made it worse. How does the fall in the rupee impact you? Well, in the simplest of forms, your bills go up. Any transaction involving the dollar will be more expensive. And even if you're not buying anything in the dollar directly, you're consuming products imported with the dollar. For example, oil and electronic items like mobile phones, they will be more expensive. Foreign travel will be more expensive, as will be foreign education. Who will benefit from the fall in rupee? Exporters will. They will earn more because of the high price of the dollar. Those sending remittances will also benefit. They will be sending more rupees if they use the dollar. So a weaker rupee does have its benefits, but right now the fall is hurting India more. India's Reserve Bank has swung into action. It is trying to defend the rupee. How do they do that? By selling dollars from its reserves. How does that affect the price of the rupee? When the central bank sells a dollar, it swaps it for the rupee, and the result is this: the demand for the Indian currency increases. So its price also increases. And that's how the RBI is trying to boost the rupee. How many dollars can they spare? India's central bank had about $600 billion in its reserves. It sold some of those dollars, at least $32 billion according to one estimate. It could sell some more in the coming months. So where does the RBI reserve stand at the moment? Close to $580 billion as of this week. The Reserve Bank can sell more dollars going forward, but maintaining the rupee's value against the dollar is still going to be a struggle. How are other currencies faring? The rupee, we can tell you, is doing better than a lot of them. It has gained 30% this year. The rupee has gained 13% against Japan's yen, the British pound, the euro, the Swiss franc, the Canadian dollar, and the Swedish krona. Now look at this chart. This is how currencies from around the world have fared against the dollar this year, and look at where India is, on the 12th place. How much has the rupee lost against the dollar this year? About 7%. What about the rest? The Japanese yen, the Swedish krona, the British pound, the euro, they've all lost more than 10% of their value. The Japanese yen is the worst performer, in fact. It has lost more than 15%, 1-5. So when you look at the big picture, the fall of the rupee does not look so bad. But most of us worry about our own pocket first. And the rupee's fall is hurting it. India will have to do more to stabilize it because the road ahead looks tough. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.